everybody doing today? I gotta figure out a different intro because it seems like every time it's like, hey, how you doing? Hi. But anyway, welcome. How about that? Welcome. Appreciate you guys tuning in here. You guys know that I am not into the doomer porn, right? I don't like to spend a ton of time on everybody's gonna die, okay? But at the same time, I think there's some things that everyone can be doing now to kind of help. Most of you are aware the economy's kind of weird right now, okay? You hear people say that it's coming back strong, and then you hear people say this is worst it's been in a while, or it's got the same indicators of 2008 or 2001. I kind of see next year might be kind of rough. I'm not really saying economic collapse to where, yeah, everything's done and everything goes up in smoke. But definitely kind of thinking that next year you're going to see a pretty good downturn. Why do I think this? If you are a student of history and of stock market economic history, yeah, there's a lot of things going on right now that are kind of pointing toward that. We've talked about how price of lumber's up. I checked prices online the other day of just some 2x4x8s, you know, some studs that I know last year this time, or even back before old Corona, you could pick up $2.50, $3. Now you can't touch them for less than $5. Okay. In fact, I saw that, if I remember right, one of them, a 2x4x12, was cheaper than a 2x4x8. And on the website, it was saying due to high demand, blah blah blah. Because we've talked about supply and demand here on the old show here, right? The old videos. Yeah, for some reason supply is really up right now. Why is demand is up right now? Why is demand so high right now? Economy's not doing so hot. Not a whole lot of people out there building houses. You know, that's one of them things when the economy's doing good and construction's going great. So yeah, what's up? Why is demand so high? Is the demand so high simply because everybody was concerned about the supply being low? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, the one thing I like to say is those of you around my age can remember the Beanie Baby fad, right? They had Beanie Babies, these bears that were like $80 or something, and you're like, what the heck? And I remember they asked me, it's like, why in the world are they so expensive? And it kind of hit me, it's like, they're as popular as they are. They were really popular. My opinion, the only reason they were popular is because they were popular. And that's about it. I know that sounds kind of silly, but think about it a second. The only reason that they're popular is because they're popular. If they weren't, you know, everybody talking about them and trying to buy them up, people wouldn't be trying to do it. You always have those people that go out, they're going to try to make some money, so they buy up all they got, right? So is that man, I can't talk. So is that what is going on with the lumber? Is people are seeing that the supply is low, we need to buy, they're seeing shortages, so they're going to buy more, just like the toilet paper scare we had back at the beginning of Corona. Everybody's out buying flats of toilet paper. It's like, you ought to be thinking about food, because if you ain't got no food, you don't need toilet paper, right? But yeah, it's just a lot of weird things going on. I'm sure investors are concerned because of the election. Always are, every election. It's kind of like everybody's holding their breath or running for cover until after the election, and then things chill out. Also, if you guys have ever heard of a guy named James Caan, he's a writer. He's into biblical prophecy, actually Torah, okay, Old Testament. He is a Jewish Christian, and he's a rabbi. I've heard some people call him a con man. It is what it is. I don't know. I've read a couple of his books, and the books are very interesting, right? If you guys are thinking like conspiracy theory, prophecy stuff, that's what everybody likes, right? His books are very interesting. I will give him that. Now, I'm not basing my life on what his books are saying. Well, no, not on what his books are saying. I base my life on the book that he got his information from. How about that? He didn't come out and say, I believe he wrote a book about the Jubilee or something like that. He did not come out and say that in 2021 there will be an economic downturn or recession or something bad. He kind of left it open for people who know how to add can figure it out. So, and I didn't think much about it. I read this book last year. I'm like, dude, the economy's doing gangbusters. What in the world? And then all of a sudden Corona hit, and the government told everybody to stay home. You're not allowed to go to work, and decided to give everybody bagoozles of money. And yeah, we're kind of in a weird spot right now. So with that, I recommend to everybody, I'm not saying go out and take all your money out of the stock market. No. I'm not saying go out and buy as much gold and silver as you can. No. The stock market, my opinion, you don't lose money until you take it out. Okay? If you buy a stock for $100 and it dips down to $20, as long as you don't sell it, you haven't lost. Okay? Now, if the company goes belly up, yeah, you lost. But if you think that stock will come back up here in a year or two, yeah, go ahead and hang on it. That way you don't lose money. So I'm not telling people to yank all their money out of the stock market. I'm not saying put your money in bonds or anything else, or start buying precious metals. Precious metals are a little higher than they have been. So don't know that that's going to be the area to run to. If there is an economic event next year, like I say, I don't see nationwide disaster or anything like that. But for those of you old enough to live through 08, 09, it was kind of rough. It wasn't, I can't say it was Great Depression rough, but I didn't live through the Great Depression, so I don't have, the only information I can base that on is what I hear, what I read from history, and talking to my grandparents who went through it when they were alive. But 08, 09, for those of you that are a little too young to remember, it was kind of tough. I made it to the 4th round of layoffs at the place I was working at. At the first round of layoffs, they cut everybody's hours back and everybody's hourly wages back. So now you're making less per hour and there are less hours, but at least you still have a job. I remember looking in the paper. That's back when people read newspapers, you know, the big like gray things that you see people. And a school system around here was hiring for a janitor. One position for a janitor at a school. And over 400 people applied for that position. That is crazy, but that's what it was like, 08, 09. So, next year, if we have something similar to that, you're going to see people losing their jobs. You're going to see the companies not hiring, and even if they are hiring, they don't have to pay that much because everybody out there is looking for a job. Supply and demand, right? If you got one position open and you got 400 people, you don't have to pay a lot. Now, if you got 10 positions open and only 5 people apply for it, and you know that there's other companies out there looking too, you got to step it up a little bit. So you could see unemployment. You could see the what do they call it? Underemployment. Okay, kind of like when I had my hours and my hourly wage cut. You could see that, and that is really one of my big concerns for everyone, because yeah, we like to prepare for EMP and yeah, Venezuela attacking us, and all the scientists creating the zombie virus and all this other stuff. But typically what's going to hurt us and our family are those common things: unemployment, underemployment, your natural disasters, your blizzards, your tornadoes, and those are the things we got to watch for. So how do you combat the possible economic situation that is likely to come? You can go ahead and stockpile food, right? Yeah, you guys have heard me say it a ton. In fact, I was talking to a buddy today. He's just getting into preparedness, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that. And I told him, I said, buddy, I said, I recommend rice and beans until you got about 6 months saved up, and then start getting the other stuff. That way at least you got food, you know. Because if you lose your job for some reason, but you have that year's worth of food saved up, that's one less thing you got to worry about. Okay? If you got a few extra bucks, yeah, take that $20 bill, shove it in a sock somewhere, put it between your mattress, whatever. No, I'm not saying put it in the bank. No, I'm not saying invest in precious metals. Keeping the cash on hand. Just in case the banks do take a bank holiday for an extended amount of time to where you can't get your money, all of a sudden you've got cash on hand. And you invest in that gold and silver. Well, I'll just sell some of my silver. Well, if silver's up to $50 an ounce, I'm not going to be buying silver when it's $50 an ounce. You might have a hard time unloading that silver. Whereas if you got cash, you can pay your bills, you can take care of that stuff. But yeah, use those preps, use your supplies. Having that food is the big one, and that just frees up a lot of money for other things. I mean, with my family, my wife does an amazing job. She truly does. And we live on about $150 to $200 a week in groceries for all of us. Now, some of you are saying there's no way they do that. Well, yeah, we do. But my wife looks for sales, and very rarely do we buy name brand, because even the name brand, when it goes on sale, it's still more expensive than your generic, right? But yeah, my wife does a great job. And we count, if we go out to eat, we count that into our food budget, okay? Because that's food. So yeah, if you think that all of a sudden you're going to be living off your preps, and if you're used to spending $200 a week in groceries, that's $800 a month that you freed up right there. That will help with rent, mortgage, car payments, things like that. Oh, so that's kind of what I'm recommending here. I'm gonna need to have y'all stand by. I can push the button. Push. And I'm back. Sorry guys, waiting on one of my children's. We got some running we got to do here real quick. But yeah, that's the biggest thing, is stockpile that food. Stockpile the things. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, stock up on your toilet paper, stock up on your soap, stock up on your paper towels, stock up on all those things that you use on a regular basis. Okay? That way you don't have to worry about spending your little bit of money you do have on those things. You'll be taken care of. And having that cash in reserve, and trust me, I know it is hard to do that. Yeah, with us, it seems like every time we get a few $100 saved up, something happens and it's gone, right? So I get it. But anyway, that's what I kind of recommend. Like I said, I see something's just not right. See something next year is not looking too hot. I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. I hope everything goes great and we can be back here next year and we can talk about more stuff to buy or get, because everybody's doing great, because the economy's rolling, employment's down to an all-time low, and people got money to spend, right? So I'll let y'all go. So we will talk to you after a while. Bye.